What's up guys, Mixology Matt here, your favorite Toronto mixologist. I do all types of events, classes, you name it, you want to spice up the party, I'm the guy for you. Today, we are making the Martini, a classic spirit-forward cocktail that every bartender should know. Is it shaken? Is it stirred? I'm going to take a deep dive on how to make it, the common pitfalls, the classic recipe, the do's and don'ts, and most importantly, how to make it your own. We're going to jump right into it. Let's go. Now it's time to make the Martini cocktail. So we got our mixing glass ready. We're gonna show you the OG template here. But for those who've never had a Martini before, it is really strong. It's spirit forward. The majority of this drink is spirit. So heads up, if you have a few too many of these, it's gonna be a very interesting night to say the least. Let's start building our cocktail. Our first ingredient, we're gonna be using orange bitters, just 1 dash. Now we're going to talk about vermouth. We want to use a solid dry vermouth for our cocktail here. 1/2 ounce of our dry vermouth here. Now we're talking about the core ingredient, the spirit. I personally like to use gin in my martinis. You can use vodka, but in this case, we're going to be using Pacific House Coastal Botanical Gin. 2.5 ounces of gin. So now we're going to stir down our martini. If you've been following some of the other videos on our channel, when we're stirring a cocktail, we want to stir for at least 30 to 45 seconds to add the proper amount of dilution while also chilling our cocktail here. It's super important that when we do this, our mixing glass is cold and that we do use a proper amount of ice here. You're gonna notice the mixing glass to start to frost up, and that's usually a good indicator that we have stirred it enough times. When we are stirring down our cocktail, we wanna use good quality ice. In this scenario, I am using cold draft 1x1 cubes. For context, the smaller the ice, the faster it will melt. So now I'm gonna give it a quick taste. It's exactly where I want it to be. Now we're going to strain into our chilled Nick and Nora glass. For our garnish, I'm going to do a lemon twist. I'm going to do what's known as a coin. So I'm going to put down my lemon here and just slice on an angle, and it's going to create a beautiful coin-like shape here. And all we want to do is just express the oils right on top. Now give it a nice rub around, and then we're just going to pop it right in the middle. And there you have it. That is our classic gin martini with a lemon twist. Now that we've made our martini, I'm going to teach you how to actually order a martini next time you're at the bar. The first thing that you got to consider is what spirit do you want? Vodka or gin? Those are kind of the two paths you can go down. The second thing, wet or dry? What do those mean? Typically, when it's more dry, it is always going to have more of the spirit. So in that case, more gin or more vodka. More wet means more vermouth. The third thing to consider is whether or not you want your martini dirty. Dirty means the addition of brine. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be olive brine. And so the idea of having a dirty martini, the brine makes it cloudy, and so it kind of looks, quote unquote, dirty. So now, the fourth thing, shaken or stirred. I love James Bond. I've seen Casino Royale 1,000 times, but to be honest, proper bar technique, he's ordering his martini wrong. General rule of thumb behind the bar, you're gonna shake a cocktail when it has citrus juice, when it has dairy, or it has any emulsifiers. By shaking, you're diluting and chilling much quicker and also aerating it in the process, changing the texture. We're gonna stir a cocktail when it is mainly spirit forward. We're gonna chill it, but not dilute it as much as you would with shaking. And the last key thing to mention here is that you don't wanna bruise the spirits when you are shaking it, and that's super important when it comes to gin specifically because of all the botanical flavors that we wanna get when we are tasting that cocktail. So there's your general rule of thumb, shaken versus stirred. If your guest wants it shaken, go ahead and do it for them, but proper bar technique, we're always gonna stir our martinis. There you have it. The last thing to consider when you are ordering your martini is if you want it up or if you want it on the rocks. Most of the time, it's going to default is going to be served in a chilled coupe or martini glass, but I have seen quite a few guests and or bars and restaurants serve it on a king cube or on a rock as an example. So you have that choice to consider when you are ordering your martini. That's all the lingo. You're now fully equipped to order your martini with confidence. I'm curious, what's your go-to martini order? Put it in the comments below. Love to see it. Here are my top 4 common mistakes that you need to know when you are making a martini. Number 1, don't skip the vermouth. A lot of people, oh yeah, we'll do a wash or just skip the vermouth entirely. The vermouth is there for a reason and it adds flavor to the cocktail. You can leave it as simple as a wash or you can add more of it, make it more wet. It must be there. It's part of the template. Don't skip it. The second mistake is not chilling your stemware. We want to make sure that our coupe and our martini glass is always chilled because when we are serving it neat, we want to make sure that the glass and the liquid stays chilled from the first sip to the last. The third mistake we want to highlight is not using good quality spirits. It's a very simple drink. If you use bottom tier vodka, you're going to have a bottom tier martini. The last common mistake is not keeping your vermouth in the fridge. I know a lot of my bartenders are going to be praising this one. A good sign of a nice cocktail bar is when they pull that vermouth out of the fridge. It's a wine-based product, so it's going to have a much shorter shelf life compared to spirits, so it's important to keep that chilled, especially when you're making a martini. Those are all your common mistakes. Let me know if I missed any in the comments below. You made it to the end of the video. Now I'm going to show you my go-to variation on the Classic Martini. Every time I'm at a steakhouse, this is just the way to go. We're going to start with some Belvedere vodka. Like I said earlier, you always want to use a high quality spirit, and Belvedere delivers on that 10 times out of 10. We're doing 2 ounces of our vodka. I like my martinis to be a little bit more on the wet side, so we're going to be using 1 ounce of our Dolan Dry Vermouth. Now, I'm a bit weird with my martinis. I like to make it wet and dirty. I've got about ½ ounce of Olive Brine I'm going to be adding in to our martini. So we're going to put that right in. It's time to ice up our mixing glass. Now it's time to stir down our cocktail. We're going to aim for about 30 seconds here. Because my cocktail is going to be a little bit more wet, I want to make sure that I'm not over diluting here because it's not going to be as strong. So now we're going to strain out our martini. We want to leave a little bit of room for our garnish here. And it wouldn't be complete without some olives to just bring this home. And there you have it. That is my dirty, wet martini. You promise you're gonna love this one. I'm curious about your favorite martini in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, I'm Mixology Matt. I don't make drinks, I make smiles. Cheers.